Now, in my opinion, it's the closest thing we've seen to a rival to the Sur Ron. Granted, the Teleria is out there, but that's pretty much the same bike. This bike has a lot more power and a lot more range, and it's only $300 more. So the average person that gets a Sur Ron is, after a little while, not satisfied with the range, so they update the battery. They upgrade the battery from a 60 to 72 volt. This already has that. They then get a better controller to get more power out of the 3,000 watt motor. This already has more power with an 8,000 watt motor. So anyway, we're going to talk about the Storm Shock. We're going to compare it to the Sur Ron. I've got some footage. I've got some photos. It's just launched. They just are getting ready to roll out their first production. And they say if you buy it today, you'll get the bike within 1 to 2 months. And ESTRAPZ is a local California company. I'm not getting paid. They're not sponsoring me, nothing. They just reached out to me and thought, hey, you know what? Would you be interested in learning about our bike? And they're actually going to send me a bike, the Storm Shock, in a couple months to review for, riding and stuff. And I'll do full, uphills, range, and all that kind of speed tests and all that. But for now, I'm just kind of talking about the bike, seeing what it's all about, and viewing some of their footage. So let's talk about it. So I'm going to compare it directly with the Sur Ron. So the Storm Shock is only $300 more at $4,700. The Sur Ron has a 3,000 watt mid-drive. The Storm Shock has an 8,000 watt mid-drive. You hear me? More than twice as much, almost 3 times as much power. And it surprisingly, the torque on the Sur Ron is a little bit higher, not much, but the battery is where it really kind of stands out in addition to the motor. The Sur Ron has a 60 volt 32 amp hour battery, and the ESTRAPZ Storm Shock has a 72 volt 38 amp hour battery. That's like upwards of 20 miles more range. I mean, that's significant. The speed's close, but the ESTRAPZ Storm Shock actually beats it as well by 5 miles an hour. And the Storm Shock claims to have a 0 to 30 in 1.9 seconds, which is just insane, in my opinion. I can't find anywhere what the Sur Ron says it can do 0 to 30, but I've ridden 5 Sur Rons, and I've ridden my Cab Motorworks Eagle, and I've ridden an Enduro, and I've ridden the Segway X160, X260, so I can fairly certainly say that the Sur Ron doesn't have better than 3-4 seconds maybe to 3 to 30. So it blows it away in terms of speed from 0 to 30 as well. So overall it looks like the Sur Ron, but it has a lot more power, a lot more range, and it's just $300 more. If you were to take the Sur Ron and try to add comparable components to get to the Storm Shock, you'd have to upgrade the motor, which is significant, 1,000, 2,000. You'd have to upgrade the battery, which is going to be about $1,800 to $2,000 for a 72 volt. You're already, so therefore you're already at like, $6,500, $7,500, as opposed to the Storm Shock that comes stock at $4,700. So anyway, stay tuned.